We're here.
We
have the latest Game 1 start I think we could have ever expected on Easter Sunday. But don't worry, it gets worse on Tuesday. So, it's not all mostly awful. Fuck. I'm just so happy we have playoff hockey right now, though. Like, some of the series that I don't give a single shit about are still, like, very, very fun. So, Oh, look at that. Here he is. Let's go.
What up?
What up, dog?
We ready to go, boys?
I'm ready for something. I don't know what's about to happen. I'll tell you what, though. The Senators are getting their fucking shit kicked in.
Yeah, the Leafs are. They look like the Senators look like a team that have like 18 guys playing in the playoffs for the first time or whatever it is.
It is something else. I still can't believe this fucking game starting so late. I don't even know why I'm pretending like it's sleeping anyways. I don't know why I'm even.
Yeah, you don't sleep.
I don't actually care. It's just annoying. Been waiting all day.
Well, we're doing an hour before the game. Isha's doing like 3 hours during the game, so
he's just a maniac by himself, just going nuts.
Naturally.
I just pulled up the NHL.com preview or whatever, and I mean they clearly do not care about spelling anything healthy scratch related correctly. Vincent Hinestro's and Devon Shore are included in the fucking scratches.
My favorite depth player is Devon Shore.
Vincent. Unbelievable. This is beautiful.
Oh man. Mr. Blackjack ready for double overtime tonight. I don't like you.
No, that's what we're getting on Tuesday.
For sure.
I'd almost prefer that though. At least I'll be like warmed up by then, and it's like far enough in that I'm just like fully pot committed. Whereas tonight, like if we can get through a normal game, I can actually have like a reasonable bedtime.
Yeah. We got it.
Vegas Golden Knight bitches. Oh, hey.
It's me. What's up?
You the goat. At least say thank you.
I did.
Let's see. Why are they fucking with us? Just start the games at 3 a.m. so nobody at all can watch. I don't know. I've been saying this to other people that have just randomly asked me. Like, I know they don't give a shit about the Central Division, but do you think this would be the same if it was like St. Louis against Vegas? Like, I feel like they know that Minnesotans are going to watch. True or false?
Say that again.
Minnesotans are going to like stay up and watch the game no matter what.
I think most of them definitely.
So I'm asking, do you think like that plays in at all to them just being absolute dipshits with how late the games are?
No, they just care about the East Coast more than the West and the Central. So
I mean, it's on ESPN.
Eastern Sports Promotion Network.
It's been brutal.
The audio's been, dude. It's been like horrific. I switched over to Sportsnet.
Yeah, I turned on this Toronto and Ottawa game, and like I have like a sound bar hooked up to my TV, and I was like, "Is this like?" It sounded so shit. I'm like, I didn't think my sound bar was on, and I thought it was coming out of like my screen speakers.
Fucking brutal.
Zeev needs to be on the PP. No questions. If Zeev plays and he's not on, like
he is, he's been practicing on PP1.
Right,
they're not playing him in practice.
Make no sense.
Yeah.
Let's see, Zeevis Christ has risen indeed. I'm going to call him Zeevis if he like goes off on Easter. You have to.
The one you sent in the group chat was pretty good too. That one made me chuckle.
Oh my god, I wasn't ready for Yid the Kid.
Yid the Kid is real good.
That was pretty. I don't remember who that was, but proper credit to you. If anyone wants to see it, just go see the comments on the Zeev post. If Cap Ek Boldy line doesn't produce, do they go back to Cap and Zook for game 2?
At relapsed cab is the handle.
At relapsed cab.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like on this one, if it's not going, I could see John Hines just ripping it at like second or third period and tinkering too much, which I hope he doesn't over tinker, but
yeah, I mean, but I thought that was a big issue with Evison in his last playoff run was that like when the things clearly weren't working, he just refused to change them. It was like, eventually this has to work, right? Where we've seen John Hines like over and over again, just be like it could be like, hey, this line had 3 bad shifts. Like I'm going to mix it up for like, and he'll even do it sometimes like, hey, I'm going to mix it up for 3 shifts, get these guys' heads back in the game, and then we'll go back. You know, so
I think all the adjustments are going to be a huge storyline, regardless. Just given the last 2 times in the playoffs with Evison,
For
like
sure.
especially like the St. Louis one was like legitimately egregious. How late they waited to do like the goalie change specifically. Obviously, was like probably the worst timing humanly possible. Meanwhile, like Brugge switches it up like 2 games in. So I think there's going to be like a big conversation pretty much this whole series. But I mean, I think we already have a good chunk of evidence that he's not afraid to tinker on the fly. So yeah, I'll be curious to see how long it takes. It's like 1 shift that outscored, like, all right, that's
Right.
it.
Do you guys feel the same way though, that it's nice that 1, we already got the like fantastic Fleury send off, so there's no obligation, and 2, we kind of know for the first time in I don't know how long who our number 1 goalie is. Like there isn't a 1A, 1B discussion.
Mhm.
We're not going to have to sit here and second guess ourselves. Like if Gus gets absolutely shelled tonight, he's coming back in game 2. Like there's no way you go to Fleury unless Gustafson's hurt.
Yeah, because that was it the Dallas series where they tried to get cute with that, and it pretty
In
much
every
blew up in their
series.
face. Because Gus was like lights out in game 1, because that one went to like double overtime, and like we feel like we overplayed him, so he played Fleury after we won, and then the whole series went downhill. It's like, well, Ottinger played the same amount, and he played again. Like they didn't go to their backup.
Yeah. Well, and go back to the Talbot Fleury. Like it's just been the Wild's MO forever, and we're pretty safe in this not being the case this year.
Yeah. I mean, the real wrench could be Gus is a bad game, and here comes Jesper Wallstedt. But
how many beers should I drink tonight from Hoptics? A 6-pack or a double 6-pack? I like that. I've never heard a 12-pack referred to as a double 6-pack, but I'm in. KJ's calling it first Buium goal tonight.
Be sweet.
I've always said I'm never actually going to make any changes to my like Twitter name, but it's real tempting to go spoke Zeev just for this series at least. Just to
I
see.
told
But, like,
you should have done that, and you were. Like,
I'm not making a change.
Like no.
Yeah, no, I can't. I don't think I can do it. But like, it's going to be if he scores like first period, it's going to be tough for me.
Hang on.
Not
I have the X on mine, and it like took probably like 10 hours for that. Or I don't even know. I did it like right before I went to bed, so it was corrected by morning, and my name was back and everything. So
now, I have one caveat here, Z. If Zeev Buium shatters his jaw, you have no choice.
Yeah, at that point. Then I really
that is the proper baton handing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that would seal it for sure. But I've resisted this long to change it at all. So I don't know. It just feels dirty, you know? It feels wrong.
it's fair.
What is this? Did you guys hear anything from so Sam Weller 96? I love Zeev, but did you guys see the story about his parents' financial firm being investigated for major fraud? Not
Hell
good.
yeah, we're back in the dumps. This is great. We're bringing ourselves down before the playoffs, baby.
I just was not even aware of this.
I did see something. There was some guy that was like spamming, like he was like name searching Zeev Buium and then responding with like screenshots of the story. So, and I think I got tagged in his post like 3 times. So I did see it from that guy who's really trying to push this story, but also like it's his parents, it's not him. So like, who cares?
Wait, what was the person pushing the story? Sam Weller.
I don't remember. It's very possible.
That would be awesome, actually. Just spreading the story further. Oh, Jason Bryant, what up? In the house.
Tegrity's comment, yes, spot on.
Why the fuck do I care about his parents scamming? Can that boy run a power play? Let's go. Like, honestly, as long as they're not scamming him like Jack Johnson's parents, I'm good.
That story was insane.
Very insane. Oh, this is a good one from Nom Nom. Zeev TOI prediction.
13 minutes.
I was gonna say over under 12.
I mean, like 5 on 5 minutes. I don't think him and Bogosian are playing north of 10. So it'll come down to how many power plays do they get? If they get 3, I think he'll hit like 13. If they get like 1, I don't know if it hits 12.
Yeah, I think before I landed, I'm guessing around like 12:30, 12:45, unless it's just like power
Ottawa just got one back.
Are they?
Yeah, 4-2.
Oh baby.
How is my screen that far behind yours?
I'm streaming through the app too, so it's not like
I'm like straight up Xfinity wired in.
Yikes! Yeah, I'm streaming in like a third household.
It's a bunch of bullshit. Oh man. 11 minutes if he's paired with Bogo. I guess the real question is if Zeev looks like the part, if he's like reminiscent of Brock Faber, like, holy shit, you fit in right away. Does it happen this game? Does it happen in game 2? Does it happen later in the series? Like, when does he move up the lineup and start getting more opportunity, more responsibility?
Maybe like third period, like if they're in like kind of a situation where like, or, Middleton looks awful again or something like that. Like, okay, maybe we'll bump these two around a little bit, but third period at the earliest. But I would imagine if they want to do something like that, that might be more of a game 2 type of adjustment versus like an in-game 1.
Yeah, I do think a lot of it's going to depend on like just how healthy is Middleton, because I mean he came back and got that one game in and still looked
injured for sure. Yeah,
definitely did not look super healthy. So it might. I mean, that probably is going to be a major factor in that too.
What do you guys think on this? Because I mean, we can all make all the jokes that we want about Zeev Buium coming in to resurrect the power play, but do you think that that's like all that's been missing? Like, we need an efficient guy to quarterback up top, or do we still have some major issues to address before we're firing on all cylinders?
I mean, obviously it was San Jose, so with a grain of salt, but like I thought the power play looked really good in that game. I scored 3, I think, in that one. And like, even though like the power play goals haven't come quite as often since then, like it hasn't looked particularly bad, I don't think. Oh, Leafs just got scored again. 5-2. But like, I don't think it's looked bad, but I think adding just his creativity and like, he has the familiarity of QBing the power play. Whereas I think like when they're running the 5 forwards, like, hey, these are all guys that have played a power play, but I think it was Boldy who they had up top. Like Boldy probably hasn't QB'd before. That's not something he's used to. So I think getting a guy comfortable in that and now being able to like have set plays off of what he's doing up there, I think could be like a nice little boost. And at least like maybe for game 1 or game 2, it's harder for Vegas to scout that, right? Is you maybe have what it looks like with the 5 forward group or what they did early in the season when they were clicking really good, or now you add this Buium element in. It's like, all right, now how can we throw Vegas off a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was like the biggest piece that was obviously missing. And like, I haven't really loved like the 5 forward power play unit. Like, obviously you're going to see some fun flashes, but it hasn't really been like, I don't know, at that point from like, especially with Boldy, with how good he was down the stretch too, it feels like on the power play when he's up top, you're just getting not a whole lot from him in general. But having like a guy like Buium, who's like obviously one of the best, if not the best, like defenseman in college hockey, power play QB in college hockey, like, yeah, that element of creativity and like Brett said too, just like unpredictability in Vegas's mind anyways. So it'll be nice to just like have that kind of like player on the back end for you where he can dictate, and he's obviously super confident with the puck. I don't think he's going to be necessarily just looking to get it off his stick as quickly as possible. But so that'll just be, I do think that's been obviously the biggest piece, but I mean, there were stretches this season where just about everything was going wrong on that power play. So, but I'm just 5 forward power play unit hasn't been doing it for me. So
Yeah, that'll rarely do it for me. Last thing on Zeev before we just talk more like full series, and anyone that's tuning in on YouTube, throw in any questions or topics you want us to get into. But has there ever been a better rookie lap than Zeev Buium's going to have here, playing game 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs in Vegas, of all places?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, he's from, isn't somewhere in California, right, where he grew up?
Yeah. I think he's
So, like,
San Diego,
not,
isn't he?
yeah, so it's not like terribly far from home. So, like, that's probably cool too. I'm sure there'll be some friends, family, hopefully in attendance tonight for him too. So, I think it'll be really cool. Like, it's always special. But yeah, like doing game 1 of playoffs in Vegas, like, yeah, it's pretty dope.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough to beat, dude. You better go no bucket. So no bucket in Vegas playoffs. Like, yeah, no, you can't. It's gonna be tough to beat ever. God, it's like it is so exciting just when like we wait for these prospects to come in, and then it's finally here, and it's just the fact that it's game 1 in Vegas is crazy to me. But
it is also a very tough time to come in. Like once the game starts, it's like, oh shit, this is real.
Yeah.
Well, where do we want to start on this matchup? Because I mean, pretty much everyone in the world is saying Vegas in 4 or 5 and giving the Wild no chance, which, I mean, if the Wild look like they have the last month or two, I don't blame them, but it's just the weirdest year where we always have some kind of idea of what like the matchup looks like. And I don't know what the Wild are this year because I don't know where all the pieces are going to fall, with this being the first time we've really had a full lineup.
Yeah, I mean, Isha and I talked a little bit on our show. Like, it's hard to even look at the results from this season. Like, obviously, the Wild were 0-3 against Vegas this year, but Eriksson Ek didn't play in any of those games. Kaprizov played in 1, and that game was 3-2. It was a really close game. I think Brodin played in 1. Spurgeon played in like only 1. Like, they haven't had their the Vegas's top players have kind of taken over those games, but the Wild haven't had their top players. Like, Vegas doesn't even know what Eriksson Ek looks like anymore. Like, they haven't seen him in like God knows how long. So, and I think just getting those two back, you have the addition of Buium maybe helping your power play, which is an area Vegas has really struggled. They were 26th in the NHL this year in their penalty kill. Like, I think it was over 75%. So, like, if the Wild do get those power play opportunities, that is a chance for them to cash in. Aiden Hill, like, numbers wise, has been pretty similar to Philip Gustafsson. Like, we've seen, like, obviously Gus has had hot and cold stretches. Like, to have the numbers that they have, you're going to have that too. So, you know, if you can pop one in early and just kind of rattle the confidence a little bit, I think that'll be key. But yeah, like, I think Vegas is the heavy favorite in this, but I think a lot of people are overlooking what the Wild can do if things go right.
Yeah, especially if Kaprizov has that playoff that we've been waiting for a long time. I think he's had the one really good series. Other than that, it's been 2 not so great ones. I mean, and I mean,
one of which he was very clearly not healthy.
Right. And I mean, right now he's still like, it's funny, he's still producing. Like, but like the first game he comes back, of course he goes off. But like, it looks like the last few games he's still like getting back up to speed, obviously after missing so much time. So, but I mean, like, we saw how pissed off he was last year just in missing the playoffs. So the fact that he's able to get back at a couple games under him. I'm very curious to see what he looks like first 5 minutes of this game, because I could be pretty telling. It's just like how locked in, how fired up he is, just because we know how competitive he is and how pissed off he was last year missing the playoffs. So, yeah, we'll see. I mean, Jack Eichel is just terrifying to me. Like, it's so
no, Z, he's got character flaws. He's a locker room cancer. He can't do anything.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you're right. I don't know why I'm so scared.
I'm never gonna get over that. I was so mad when that was like why everyone's like, never let him come near Minnesota. It's like, no, he's never coming here because we don't have cap space to make it work. But
correct,
to say you don't want him is absolutely fucking asinine. But yeah, he is terrifying. Like, him and their top 6 scares me, and their whole blue line scares me. I think really where we can see some interesting things is with the goaltending battle that Gustafsson absolutely is capable of winning. And their bottom 6, like, they're scoring, but really now that we're healthy, like, our bottom 6 is actually pretty frisky.
Yeah,
I think our third line is kind of our X factor. If that Rossi, Foligno, and Nyquist can do something, that gives you a whole different dimension that the Wild haven't had in a while.
I think that's something like the Wild have like they have a very clear like top 9 group where you pretty much like, I don't even know if you technically can say you have a second line and a third line. I think you kind of have a 2A and a 2B. Like you have kind of the speed, maybe rush line with Zuccarello and Gaudreau and Johansson, who's played quite well the past 2 months or month and a half here. Like I think he's almost near a point a game. Like him and Zuccarello seem to have some good chemistry. Can't say enough about the good bounce back here that Freddie Gaudreau's had. And now you have Foligno and Rossi, who every time they've played together have controlled like 55+% of the expected goals. And like they just, something with those two works. And now you add a distributor and Nyquist, a guy that has a little bit of speed. And like one of those lines is going to get a better matchup before, where like there was that stretch this season where, the teams could say, hey, we're going to throw out our best line against Boldy and we're fine. But now it's like, okay, we can send out our best line against Kaprizov, Boldy, and Ek. But now we're exposing, these lines that have a Marco Rossi, that have a Matt Zuccarello. So the middle six, like those two lines, if they can pop in some goals, I think that could make a huge difference. And to your point, kind of maybe take advantage of Vegas's bottom six with our middle six.
Z agrees. And also is scared of curly-haired gingers, according to Sean Cosgrove. Don't blame me.
Thanks, Cosgrove.
Cosgrove also says prediction: the Wild run ridiculously hot in this playoffs and lose in the conference finals in 6 games. Then they spend to the cap, get better, have 5 100-point seasons, and do nothing in the playoffs.
Holy shit.
Max Payne. Dear Lord.
I mean, it's certainly possible. Wouldn't rule it out by any means.
So Cosgrove was definitely born in Minnesota. I don't know. It is just hard to even talk about the Wild with not knowing how some of these guys are going to look, but that makes it kind of fun in a way.
Yeah.
I want to know, Z, you watched him plenty before he came over here. We're finally starting to see the Brazeau that you kind of hyped early on coming in. How do you feel about his play coming in? And do you think that fourth line for the Wild can have somewhat of an impact?
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing I've always said. It was just like, it was going to be tough to gauge Brazeau for a little bit here, especially just given he played the majority of his minutes like with Brad Marchand when he was scoring goals. So now obviously he comes over to Minnesota, completely different system, completely different team. And I mean, obviously, first time he's been traded, and then on top of that, he's kind of like pigeonholed in that fourth line role. But I mean, the more he can just be hard on pucks, make simple plays, and he does have like that sneaky skill for such a big guy. Not the best skater in the world, but like when he came in last year in the playoffs, he ended up playing unbelievable for the Bruins. He had that sweet game 1 goal against Florida too. So it's just been nice to see him. He clearly is getting a whole lot more confidence. And it was definitely a big adjustment just going from a Bruins team to this Wild team in like different role and just different system in general. So
yeah. And I think we saw a good example of what he's capable of. I believe it was in the Vancouver game. It was him, Hartman, and Foligno on, I think it was the tying goal. And him and Hartman kind of going on the forecheck. They force a turnover. And there's a really brief moment, like people I don't even think realized that Brazeau had touched the puck. But it kind of came in the middle of the ice. He had a defenseman right on him and made this really quick like backhand pass over to Hartman. And then Hartman was able to send it across ice as Foligno for like the tap-in goal. But it was that subtle little like hands play by Brazeau that kind of starts it, along with the forecheck that those two brought. So like having Hartman on your fourth line is for the Wild, like even like Trenton, I thought's had a much better stretch here. And now with Brazeau figuring things out, like that line's going to get in there and they're going to be physical. And like that's going to be a line if you can get under their skin a little bit, agitate them, a little pushing and shoving after the whistle, see if you can get a rouse out of these guys. Like that fourth line, I don't think can be overlooked as an impact line, especially with, the size that, that fans and media in the past have complained about the Wild not having in the playoffs. Like they have some heavy hitters now on that fourth line with Hartman, Trennan, and Brazeau, as well as Foligno, some of those guys as well.
What besides Eichel scares you?
Their power play.
Yeah.
Second best in the NHL this year against our 30th ranked penalty kills. Like that's it, like if and I hate like being afraid of the penalty kill again because it's just been the story for pretty much 3 straight playoffs now, and it's the thing that scares me the most again.
Yeah, it's a problem. That'll be a problem. So hopefully we were just talking about like the Wild's fourth line, doing some agitating. Hopefully Hartman doesn't like snap or Trenyon doesn't punch someone.
I was going to say, hopefully Trenyon doesn't put someone through the ice.
Hopefully it doesn't break someone's orbital bone on the ice. So he can stay out of the box as much as humanly possible, which again, last time we saw in the playoffs, that Dallas series, like we can say what we want about the officiating, but I mean like Foligno fully snaps. And like it's just seeing red. I mean, doesn't help that like DeBoer is just a fucking master manipulator after the game. But like they have to stay out of the box as much as humanly possible. It's just like it's fascinating when like there's some games where they'll have like 3 decent penalty kills to get the job done, and then that fourth one that's just like they gave up a goal like right off the face-off. But it's just like, how does this? You feel so good. And then it just immediately goes out the window with one fucking play.
Yeah. Well, and it feels like a lot of times too, like more so as of late, like the penalty kill I think has been better. Like obviously still not great, but better. But it felt like a lot of times now it's like they're either getting scored on in the first 20 seconds or like the last 7. Like I feel like they had, a minute and 50 seconds of great penalty killing, and then it's like this guy's stick broke, or this guy like partially whiffed on the final clear, and now it's like 5 seconds left. It's in the back of the net.
And I mean, I feel like another thing that like doesn't really get as much attention we talk about the penalty kill is sometimes they just need a fucking save. Like they have so many power play goals they've given up this season. It's like your goalie has to bail you out there, or it's just like shot from the point. Maybe it gets deflected, maybe not, but whatever. But like they're not getting saves for a long stretch on the PK. So like that's another. I mean, Gustafson's just been great all year long, but like specifically in those moments is when he's really going to have to, against this fucking Vegas team, this series, he's really going to have to probably bail them out once or twice here.
Yeah. Got a couple comments here in a second, but my question to both of you, time machine, go to the beginning of the season. If I told you going into the playoffs, we had a fully healthy roster, that our second line was going to be Gaudreau centering Zuccarello and JoJo, would you have punched me in the face or like?
I was like, when did we rehire Dean?
I would probably ask what's the third line and just say you got the order wrong.
Yeah. I just have like their lineups up from NHL.com, and it's still just insane to see injured none. I'm not used to this. Like this is very jarring right now. I'm still adjusting.
At midnight on Tuesday, different.
Yeah.
4 guys. Ooh.
Oh man.
Nice. Just took a puck to like the inside of the leg. Youch.
So Ryan Lund asked, what are your expectations of Zeev? We kind of hit on this pretty heavily off the jump, but I know a lot of people have joined since. So high level, probably going to be like low double digits, like 12, 13, 14 minutes of game time, unless something crazy happens. But a good chunk of that's coming in the power play. We're all pretty confident he's going to step in and be comfortable. I don't expect him to take over the game. That'd be a great outcome. What do you guys think, though, this does for Bogosian? Like, do you think he kind of thrives on, hey, now I've got this guy that's going to be going up ice and I'm just chilling back and I'm the stay-at-home guy? Or is he more suited to playing with a guy like Merrill where they're both kind of sitting back?
I don't know. I think the Wild, like much like we kind of saw with Faber against Dallas and like sheltering those minutes strategically, like I don't think you're going to see Bogosian and Buium out there on any like defensive zone faceoffs. Like I don't think you're going to see them probably out there much with like the fourth line at all. Like it's going to be, we're going to put you with probably as much as they can, probably the Kaprizov line, kind of shelter your minutes that way. And they'll probably get a lot of offensive zone starts as well. Like I think that'll be kind of how they strategize around it. And I think Vegas is going to do their best. Like it could even be like, it's if they, they win a defensive zone faceoff and have their third line out there and then see, we have the Buium pairing out there. Maybe let's do a quick line change here and get our first line out there and see if they can match up in that way too, to try to take advantage of his inexperience. But I I expect more to see an impact, hopefully offensively than really defensively. Like I expect maybe maybe an oof turnover even here or there. Just trying to be creative offensively.
Oh, Joe Smith just posted the Zeev Buium rookie lap.
Oof, there it is.
Bucket, no bucket? Do we know?
We're finding out.
No bucket.
Beauty.
Atta fucking boy.
Nightmare fuel for the Vegas Golden Knights. And me at 10 o'clock.
They let him just do like a 5-minute rookie lap, and they're all just like, fuck.
He's just out there flying around.
Matthew Nyes, apparently the shot block didn't hurt. He just scored on the power play.
All right, you need to stop that. I'm just going to turn this game off.
Well, now you know to look.
All right, I'll take that. I actually did catch it just in time. All right, I'm good.
See, there we go.
All right, stand corrected. Jason Bryant, we can always rely on him to ask this. Anyone in the chat, too, let us know what you're drinking either right now or what you guys are going to be drinking for the game, but make the rounds. Z, what form of light beer IPA are you drinking?
I have a ridiculous smorgasbord of like 9 beers. I think it's like 4 different ones. I got a couple Bud Lights, some High Lifes, some Mick Ultras, and I think I might have 1 Budweiser. It's just gonna be colorful little patch of beers.
Tall, cool Budweiser. Hey, Brett, what do you got?
I finished it already, but I had in honor of 420, the Grape Vape THC seltzer from Falling Knife.
That is the best seltzer that I have had.
It is without a doubt. The only one I've had that's rivaled it, it's the company's called Lunar, and they do like imitation pop flavors. So they have like a A&W root beer, which is really good. They have they have a Mountain Dew one, and like it's pretty spot on. It's like those are the only ones that have come close, but that one's still my number one.
Oh, Grape Vape's incredible, and then the juiced Smazies from Lupulin are also very good.
Yes, those ones are good. And then just staying hydrated, so I got an Arnold Palmer as well.
Yeah, I didn't see nearly as many jokes about like the Easter Bunny being high or anything like that for 420 today. So
yeah,
good on you, X the Everything app, staying somewhat classy. I got Bound by Purpose from our buddies over at Barrel Theory Beer Company. Delicious.
I went and picked up 2 craft beer packs of Barrel Theory yesterday for a birthday party. Both were phenomenal.
What flavor?
One of them was like something with like a rose. It was like a fruited sour with like some berries and marshmallow. It was something like 4 words, and the last one was like rose or rosé. And then the other one, I cannot remember the name of it, but it was just a sour that was really good. Like Barrel Theory, like they were the ones that like made me realize I liked beer because I tried their sours. I'm like, oh, there can be beer with like a not bitter hoppy aftertaste. These are really good. Specifically, I remember it was the MPG. It was like a mango, pineapple, guava or something. And that's like, made me like beers. So
nice.
I got a soft spot for them.
Isha says coffee. So much coffee. Oh, man. And there's Cosgrove just in time. Happy Easter, everybody, by the way. I hope you all got lots of bunny eggs to celebrate the resurrection of our Lord. It makes sense if you don't think about it. Let's see. Someone's saying to drink Kaprizov. That's
no trolls in chat.
Cosgrove, very important question. One that I've not stopped thinking about since he said fuck Tampa. Isaac Howard is a free agent next August. So a year from this August. And he is following Charlie Stramel to the Minnesota Wild, and then everyone can shut the fuck up about Gabe Perreault.
Yeah, did you see his comments about like he went on some podcast and it was like why he didn't sign? He's like, yeah, like we just we weren't really seeing eye to eye. And it was like something kind of like, ooh, I can't believe he said that out loud type of comments.
Basically, he expected to play in the playoffs, and they're like, do you see how well we're playing?
Pretty wild on his part. pretty crazy. He was like, yeah. Well, I mean, he is the Iceman. I mean, that's just how he rolls. But like,
He is the Iceman.
Yeah,
He
because
just won the
it's
Hoppy.
crazy. And he was like, yeah, I'm gonna crack that lineup.
if it was
Cooch.
yeah, if it was any other team, like I probably would have been on his side. But like Tampa, I picked Tampa in my bracket. Like to your point, Z, like they're just playing so well right now. Like they feel unstoppable.
Oh, dude, straight up, like he's like, all right, Coop, you telling Gensel that I'm taking a spot, or am I?
You want me to call him? Or you got it, dude.
It's just too good. I respect it to an extent.
We talked about it on Judd'z Budz, Brett. You're going to be really thrown off when we do the prospect ranking podcast because I'm just going to be including Isaac Howard, and no one's going to understand what's going on. I've already decided that it's happening, so like I'm just going to throw him in there.
It's still not as bad as Isha's first off bit, so we're good.
He'll probably still be in there too. So it's going to be, people are going to turn it off pretty quick. They're not going to like it. But
No, it won't be Tim. He'll have Leskovar at 1.
Oh my God, yeah. He loves that guy.
That's it fits. All right, well, we wait for more like playoffs and just series preview questions come in. Detour from Nom Nom. Playoffs aside, how do we fix our center problem in the offseason? I think the quickest way to fix our center position is by trading Marco Rossi.
What's the center problem? Like you have Eck, Rossi, Goudreau, and Hartman. Like Hartman is your 4C. That's a pretty good situation to be in. And I think
it's
Rossi
fair though to say that we have a center problem, not like looking at the names and the talent. Like still can't win fucking faceoffs. Still don't know how like confident I am long term. Like do we just know outright moving forward that Freddie Goudreau is what we saw this year?
Yeah. I mean, Isha and I talked about one of our shows. So like, if you look at his like career numbers, it's like he has like 4 seasons of what he did this year. But the one that tastes sour is the one last year, obviously, when he was really bad. But like,
yeah, but there's a caveat there.
Well, he was clearly injured.
Well, no, but the caveat being minutes. In his other seasons, half the minutes that he's seeing now.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's been for $2.2 million or whatever he's making. Like,
I got no problem with the money.
40 points on the third line, like that's fine. I don't know how you could not be happy with that. And the other option to this answer, to get back to it, could be just Yurov.
Could be.
Potentially.
But for me, it's like there's a center problem because they are moving Rossi. Rossi is not.
It's hopefully not Brock Nelson.
If I'm Brock Nelson, I'm doing everything in my power to stay in Colorado.
I hope he does. He should. That's a great fit for him.
I don't hope he does. I hope he gets out of the Central.
Well, that's fair. Whatever makes him not sign here would make me happy.
All right, Z, what's your position on just center status all around?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Wild are like, I think at this point, whenever we even bring up like if we want to call it a center problem, it's probably more when you just like look at them on paper, they might not have a guy that you would just like automatically profile as like a prototypical 1C like point per game player. But like the way that they play, the fact that you have a guy like Kirill Kaprizov who drives all the offense on his line anyway, like it kind of like works to a certain extent in Minnesota when you just have so many other playmakers on the wing and that are going to be able to drive the offense. Again, we'll see what happens with Yurov next year. It sounds like they're pretty confident in his ability to play center in the NHL. He's been really good making that move over to center the past 2 years with Magnitogorsk. But yeah, I mean, again, I think they might have like, just again, when you look at their overall profile, the centers that they have probably profile more as like just 2Cs, but like that's not necessarily like a major issue, especially when you have like some dynamic playmakers on the wing that are driving the offense anyways. But I mean, we're going to see what happens because Joe and Russo are still clearly confident that it's more than likely he's getting moved. Rossi is in the offseason. So this could be a huge fucking playoffs for him right now too. And I am like pretty intrigued by the Foligno Rossi Nyquist combo in the playoffs. Like if you can get some Nyquist like offensive production like we saw in the playoffs when he was here.
Point per game, I think. He had 6 points in 6 games.
Yeah.
They're all assists, but
yeah. And I think he was playing with Foligno and
yeah, they would.
Steele.
Dean refused to put him with Kaprizov for whatever reason.
Yeah, it was him, Steele, and Foligno. I think it was, or maybe it was Harvey.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
But he hasn't looked as good by any stretch. But I think the one positive there is like if he doesn't work, I really do think Hartman could just slot right in for him, and that line would look very, very, very fun.
Yeah, like I think that's one thing Ish and I talked about on our show last week. Like I think something that I was more up that made me like because I think we had a question about what makes me more optimistic, and like to your point, we were talking about like Nyquist being good because he was on a line with Sam Steele, who at that point was the second line center. Like if things do go awry, like you can move. You have Rossi, Ek, Goudreau, and Hartman. You can move those guys around anywhere on any line. Like they have flexibility to tweak their lines and overhaul them. Where previous years it was like, well, we really can't change anything. Like this is what we have. Like Sam Steele is our second line center, and that's the way it's going to be. Where I don't think they're pigeonholed into that this time around.
Sure. We got a couple comments on the center position from whoever. If you're trading Rossi, might as well take a swing on Caden Lindstrom to really convince Isaac Howard to join the Wild.
I love this. We're just let's take home run swings on every team's like one of their top 5 prospects, every single team.
I mean, if there's a college team that I want to just have dibs on all their players, I'm okay with it being Michigan State.
Fair.
This next one is probably not going to make people happy, but I'll let you two decide. Rossi and Pick for EP40.
I don't think so. But like, I think that's like to this point though, is like, I don't think that's necessarily an unreasonable like proposal. Like, cause I think there's obviously like, I love Marco Rossi. There's video footage of how excited I was when the Wild drafted him. Like I have nothing against him at all, but like, I think if there is like one positive of him being traded, it's that it's not like the Wild are selling low on him. Like they're basically saying, no, we're going to sell high because I mean, like we'd like to pay you, but we can't pay you the money that you want. Like,
no,
but there will be,
won't.
Right. Like we won't pay you probably 7.5 on a 3-year deal, which is probably what he deserves and won't get. But, like I think like you're not going to get scraps in return. Like the Wild aren't just going to trade him for nothing. Like I've heard, who's the Buffalo prospect that they really like? Peterka. So like that's a player like, yeah, I'd be sad I got Marco Rossi, but I'd be excited to have JJ Peterka on my team. Like, so something more in those lines, like you're going to get a good young player back. Like, I don't think you're getting hit. Like you're not sending him out for nothing. So
Zach Benson or bust.
Sure.
Actually, no, Tage Thompson or bust.
Sure.
Can you imagine the meltdown that Buffalo would have?
Yeah. The one that was worrying me was Dylan Cousins straight up. That was the one that I was like, ooh, that would have made my skin crawl.
Oh, I would have been very okay with that.
I don't know. I don't have a lot.
I wouldn't have like cheered for it and asked for it, but if like he's gone and that's what the move ends up being, I'm okay with it. I like Dylan Cousins. Oh. Max Domi doing Max Domi things.
He just like sucker punch that guy.
He jumped someone. He loves doing that.
Well, it's like a line brawl, and like him and another guy like kind of got tangled up, and like the one guy didn't drop his gloves and Domi did, and then like the rest trying to break him up, and he just sends in like an uppercut. The guy was not ready for it at all.
Oh my god, I haven't gotten your reaction to this yet, Brett, but I basically shit my pants when LaPanta said it would be a no-brainer for both sides, Rossi and the Wild, for Rossi to take a 5x5. And I think that's just the most disrespectful comment he's ever made, which is evidenced by Russo not even really addressing it.
I mean, if Guerin gets Rossi at 5x5, like we should build a statue. Like that would be like some of the best negotiating ever done by an NHL GM. But yeah, like it's a no-brainer for the Wild for sure, because it would never happen.
Isha, Rossi and Pick for JT Miller. I would be so happy. I'm not gonna lie. I love JT Miller, but I don't see it happening.
That'd be a tough one for me. I'd have to think about it. Like tough and like it's close, and I don't know where I would stand.
That means it's probably a reasonable trade.
Yes. I always say that, like, if you're ever making a trade proposal, if what you're giving up feels uncomfortable, then it's a good offer.
Yeah. Cosgrove brings up a good one here. Marco Rossi offer sheet for $7 million plus per year. Worth it for any team. Cheaper way of getting him, and it'd be a first, second, and third. Are the Wild forced to match if it's like in the sevens?
Yeah, you had to think about it at that point. I think it really depends on what free agents they believe they can get.
I just don't like going for free agents.
I know, but they're going to.
I know.
I don't disagree with you, and I'm with you, but they will go sign somebody.
My whole thing with like the Rossi trade situation, I really just don't want it to end up being like a bunch of picks. Like, if you move out Rossi, you have to bring in an impact player that's going to be in your lineup next season.
That's in his low to mid 20s.
Right. Yeah. Not like again, we're not signing Brock Nelson at 30, was he 34?
Yeah. Who at one point this year had like a 20-game goal drought. Like, we'd have Johansson for that for the last 2 years. We don't need that again.
Wait. The way I heard that at first, Brett, is we've already checked that box. Like, we've got a guy that can fill that role for us. We don't want another.
I nailed it.
I love it. Anyone that's tuning in right now on YouTube, drop into the comments your series prediction and tonight's prediction score for game 1 in Vegas. Let's see here. Back to the series. Who would you label as like the X factor for each team? Because like for me, I don't know. It feels like cheap to say Kaprizov is the X factor, even though he kind of is, because we don't know which version of him we're going to get. Like, who are the guys that it's just like, if they are on their game, it changes everything. If they're off their game, tough.
I think for the Wild, it's Boldy. Specifically at 5-on-5. Because I think if all of a sudden, and this goes hand in hand with Kaprizov elevating his game, like, if those two together can both be great and have two threatening lines that Vegas then has to choose, who I'm assuming it's going to be Eichel probably out there, probably to start against Kaprizov. But if all of a sudden Ek and Boldy start to become a problem on line 2, and you force Vegas's coaching staff and team to start figuring out, okay, how do we change our matchups around that now? Like, that's a huge advantage for the Wild, and I think something that's been missing in previous years because they've had to just load up the top line to injuries to the point of like Sam Steele being on line 2, as we talked earlier. So like, that's kind of what I'm watching for. I need to do a little bit of on the fly research on the Vegas side, but I'll start there.
Yeah, I mean, it would be so easy to go with like one of Kaprizov or Eriksson Ek. To me, again, it's like I'd still look at if they can get some scoring from that third line, whether it's Rossi, whether it's Nyquist, that's going to be huge, obviously. But like on the Vegas side, that second line with Hertl and Dorofeev's got 34 goals this year. So dude, it's like
I wanted Hertl to be a Minnesota Wild center so fucking bad.
Yeah. And I mean, like, that's just that line they can score for fun. So if you're obviously going to be heavily invested in trying to shut down guys like Eichel, Stone, whatever. But like that combo of Hertl and Dorofeev this year, I think they've just scored a ton of goals too. So like for me, one of those two for Vegas is probably a potential X factor for sure. But we'll see.
Yeah, I've been on record with what you said, Z, with the third line for the Wild. So I'll switch it up, and I'm going to say Spurgeon Middleton. We've seen that pairing be really good. We've also seen the downside of both guys, especially when it comes to the postseason. I don't think there's a single human that watches hockey and has a brain that is remotely concerned about Brody and Faber going out and absolutely doing their thing. If you can get even like 80% competence out of that Spurgeon Middleton pair, you're in a really good fucking spot. And on the flip side, Z brought his name up for the first time kind of casually there in his conversation, but Mark Stone is a guy that not only has like he been pretty quiet this year offensively, and he could absolutely pop and go back to what we've seen from him before. But like talking about Eichel being the shutdown guy, him and Stone playing together, like they can absolutely erase a line if they so choose. So
and if I'm the Wild, like they're not going to have as much dictation on the road, but I think at home that's who I'm trying to get Eck and Boldy out against, because I think that's kind of the match, right? You have the center and the wing who together like very consistently dominate play. Like I think that's a fun matchup. And then you have maybe a little more of the fire wagon with the Dorofiev line against the Kaprizov line.
Yeah.
So, and I think to your point too, like another player like Stone, Chase Theodore, I think, is the one for Vegas that I think could be kind of their dictator. 50 assists from the blue line this year, second on the team, only behind Eichel, like, and a really good two-way defender.
He's so good.
He's still like top 3 guys that it's like, how the fuck did you let Vegas have him?
Yeah.
Sickening.
Man.
That decor just in general is just...
It's a really good blue line.
It is skilled. It is heavy. They can move. Like
the minivan man.
Like Nick Hag on their blue line. Like if the Wild like honestly want to go like buy a bottom pairing defenseman in free agency for whatever reason next year, like he's a guy that I like a lot. I like his game. Same as Zach Whitecloud. Like that's their third
I was gonna
pair.
say
like,
both of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's a fantastic third pair. Then you have McNabb with Pietrangelo and Theodore and Hannafin. Like that's just probably as good as a top 4 as there is in the NHL. So I think that'll be interesting too. Like the Wild hopefully maybe have that mirror match. To your point, Ken Middleton and Spurgeon match up to, a Pietrangelo and Hannafin second pairing or whatever it ends up being. Like that would make a huge difference.
Yeah. And you guys know how like quarterbacks in the NFL are like known for getting like trucks or SUVs for their linemen, and guys like Joe Burrow who are just badasses get like fucking custom katanas for them. What? I gotta imagine at some point Alex Pietrangelo went out and bought all of his like D partners minivans, right?
Yeah. He feels very Ryan Suter to me.
He's only getting paid by one team.
Plus that aside, yeah.
That's crazy that he is like playing real minutes when he is being paid by 3 playoff teams all in the same division. Like,
yep.
Say what you want about the guy.
Well, technically now I do
things, but he is a legend for that alone.
Yeah, the Wild are only paying him like we're officially like the high money amounts are over the last 2 years or whatever. The 800. Well, I guess that's only cap it. I don't know what the real money is, but.
Would it be like awesome or like weird for Guerin to literally just go to Kaprizov on July 1st, be like, here is the max that we ever paid in dead cap to both Parise and Suter combined. I want that to be your AAV.
Sure. 14.95 or something, I think.
But like it's right in the wheelhouse. It's probably a little bit of a discount from what Kaprizov wants, but like literally to market it as this is what we did with the buyout money.
Be interesting.
I fucking love it.
If you were to guess Ryan Suter's estimated career earnings, what would you say to this point?
It's like 140.
Well, it was 99 million, I think, each from the Wild, right? That's what they were.
97, I think, for both
97.
of them. I think he's at like 130 or 140, isn't he?
I think
we've talked about this before. That's the only reason I knew so quickly.
I think it's north of 150.
Right now, he's right around 130 right now. That motherfucker's made so much money. It's like every once in a while you come across a player's like when like certain guys that they're over. You're like, that guy's over 100 million in career earnings. That's crazy. I mean, like. He was playing like 47 minutes a night for 10 years, but like it's crazy just thinking about how much money that is.
The disgraceful way that he left the Wild and the Stars, like it like started to build a narrative, and he hasn't been as good. But dude, at his peak, he was fucking good. Like he was a very good fucking player.
It's crazy. That's all Central teams. Like it's fucking. It is something else.
It is
all very funny.
Teams.
It's very funny.
That's 5 of the 8, I believe. Just the Wild, Predators, Blues, Stars. Oh,
Isn't
I
it
think
just
it might be-
four?
I think it's just
4, yeah.
Yeah, but so half of the teams in one division, your whole career is crazy.
That's mad.
130 sheets.
He's just
Holy-
eyeing Chicago right now,
Oh, they'll pay him.
looking over to Colorado, and they're like, "Get the fuck out of here."
He's played.
Where do we
Every
want to
game
see
last
Mitch
4 years.
Marner go this summer? Chicago, Utah, or is there somewhere else that's like feasible but also like fun?
I think Utah would be cool. Like I like a lot of players on that team. Like I'd want them to be successful and like to get like now you have him and you have Clayton Keller. Like you're building out with Karol Vejmelka and net. I think he's got like a 5-year extension or something. Like been some good pieces in place, and like to add that star player. Like obviously it would suck to be in our division and just make this division like another team harder, but like I think that'd be a fitting spot for him.
You got one, Z?
Yeah, I mean, I've always
Boston's not acceptable.
the amount of like coverage that's getting here, because like it's crazy. I'm like, I mean, all right, that's sure be very funny.
Honestly,
And
him
it
and
would
Boston
rule.
knocked together would be very fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they
Marchand
just
in
need
Florida and
someone
Marner
else
in
to-
Boston is crazy.
We also had Carlo go to Toronto this year, so that was something
Mm-hmm.
else. It was, again, I said this before. It was sad seeing how many players that have been here for a long time go, but like the returns they were getting, it was like great. And then the last 5 minutes of the deadline, I got 2 straight tweets. One was Carlo to Toronto and then Marshal to Florida. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Just make sure that I'm not actually going to be happy right now. Really just drive the stake through the
Hang on, though. Rank them, Z. If the 3 teams he could go to for the same asking price were Toronto, Montreal, and Florida, rank the order that you'd want him to go to those teams.
Which one? Which player?
Marchand, Florida,
Marchand?
Toronto, Montreal.
Probably just actually probably in that
Yeah.
order, to be honest, because now that the Canadians are back in the playoffs, that rivalry probably is going to be close to what the Boston Toronto is now, because it's just been like they haven't played in the playoffs since 2014.
Right,
Which
they
was
just haven't
sickening to
existed.
me. And like the Canadians were so bad for a while.
He should just
Um,
donated 50 cents to himself.
I was gonna say that $2 Canadian. I think that's going very far at the moment.
But real quick though, with the Marner thing, again, I've been on
Okay.
the Utah train for a while, but like after what happened with Rantanen, like you have to wonder about like a Carolina too. I mean, they bring in Stankoven, so that kind of like offsets some of
Dude,
that.
I said Marner back when like all this stuff was going around, just because is there a quieter market?
Right? Yeah,
I feel like
right.
Mitch would thrive. Like they're in Utah are like probably the quietest markets.
Marner, Aho, and Svechnikov would be very fun.
Make me sick.
Be
And
very
he's,
fun.
like, he's already here, so I don't care.
No.
Yeah, I thought that was just another one with the whole Rantanen debacle down there. Like
Yeah.
immediately, it's
Carolina's
kind
my
of
second favorite team,
interesting.
so I'd be pretty excited for that.
Now, to continue torturing the Leafs, sorry to our new friend Zach Phillips, but obviously I have selfish reasons for this, but we all have to be sitting here praying for Matty Nyes to get offer sheeted. My question, because I legitimately have forgotten, what comes first, offer sheets or free agency? Because that's critical.
Might be the same day because you have, I believe, until the start of free agency to qualify your RFAs. And if not, then they can be offer sheeted, I think, as soon as free agency starts, I think is how it works. That is what my NHL be a GM mode brain is telling me. But I don't know for certain.
Because order of operations there is critical, because if they don't know about Marner, that makes matching an offer sheet way different versus, oh, Marner's already left. Okay, we'll give you whatever you want, dude.
Right.
And my boy Kyle is coming in and giving him whatever the fuck he wants in that offer sheet. And I don't even care. I'll give up the assets.
He's not going to Pittsburgh.
He's going to Pittsburgh.
There's no way.
Well, I don't know if he's going to Pittsburgh, but the offer sheet will come.
If Dubas is smart, he would not sign Marner because he should just build through the next 2 drafts.
No, not Marner. Nyes.
Oh, Nyes.
He's going to offer sheet Nyes because no one in this world loves Matthew Nyes more than Kyle Dubas. He told me so.
I mean, that one maybe makes sense, but like they just need to do whatever they can to make sure they're getting.
No, Marner won't go to Pittsburgh. Although it would be hilarious if he went to Pittsburgh on top of the offer sheet. That would be incredible.
Just steal 2 of the top 5 players. Give Crosby 1 more year.
Oh man. Oh, Cosgrove says the AI robots told him that July 1st to December 1st for offer sheets.
Okay, yeah.
Z, Hoppy, and Brett, any or all of you are welcome to jump on during intermission. If I am awake and alive, I will certainly consider.
Same. I'm doing my best. The only thing that I might stay awake for is to take my puppy outside. But
you have a puppy?
I do have a puppy. Her name is Rue, and she is 10.5 weeks old.
I'm very much joking. I'm very aware that you have a puppy.
Just in case anyone didn't, she's so cute.
For anyone that didn't see it, Isha commented here in the chat, but whenever we sign off here, which is probably in the next like 10, 15 minutes when the game starts, make sure you go over, at a minimum, just give a like to his stream. But if you're staying up for the game, obviously the ESPN broadcasts have been absolute shit, so you might as well sit and listen to Isha talk about the game instead.
That's fair.
So hang out, have fun. He's pretty interactive, answers questions. If you show up and donate $1, he'll probably chug a beer, shotgun it for you. Test the theory. Let's see. Update. Senators 2, Maple Leafs 6, final. Don't fall for it. Oh, the puppy. Devils 1, Hurricanes 4. Yep, that one. I didn't even watch that game. It's weird. I feel like the NHL knew exactly what they were doing, and they were putting that right in the middle of the day on Easter. They're like, no one's going to fucking watch this anyways. I
think the shots were like 47-25. I think
it was bad. It was
bad. I believe I picked Canes in 4 in that one. Like, I didn't even realize the Devils made the playoffs. I thought they were out of it like a month ago.
No, that's just how bad the Metro was.
Yeah.
It's too bad because, like, if they were healthy, it would actually be a really fun series. But
for sure, yeah.
So it's not.
Like no Jack Hughes, probably 80% Dougie Hamilton. And did Siegenthaler play today?
I don't think so.
Yeah, and they have like no Siegenthaler. Like it's the equivalent of having like no Kaprizov and no Brodin and no Spurgeon. Like good luck.
Yeah, Dylan got hurt. Like
yeah, and then Luke Hughes like got the goalie was trying to slash Svechnikov.
Is he the one that got slashed by Markstrom?
Yeah, and Hughes like was cutting across and got just like full paddle, like I think to like the knee area, and like also left hurt. I think I don't know if he came back or like I haven't seen the status. I just saw the video, but like Jesus,
Markstrom's just like the crazy goalie that's got voices in his head. That's like the only way to win this series is to complete the Bermuda Triangle. 2 Hughes are not playing.
Yeah,
finish him. I don't know. Anything else we want to hit on? Anything else anyone has in the chat?
Midtro.
Oh, we got the light show coming on.
Yep.
This is the analysis we need. Sidebar, I am super excited to go see a Frozen 4 in Vegas next year.
Is that where it's going to be?
It's in Vegas.
That'll be cool.
I think the next 3 are Vegas, DC, and Chicago.
Solid spots.
I don't know what to think about DC.
I think it'd be cool. Like I think with the Capitals like kind of resurgence, it's a good time.
Ovi will be gone before that.
Yeah, but like I don't know, like I think like that probably like it might spark a little bit of the interest, right? That like people maybe thought they're gonna be bad again. Go now we're kind of back and be cool.
Which monument should I vandalize?
I don't know.
I have said this: the Golden Knights were really in a pickle when they were playing the Caps in the Cup final after every playoff series, every pregame show in Vegas started with the Golden Knight murdering the other team's logo. They're playing the Caps like, we can't do that.
We cannot kill the national bird.
You're like, oh fuck.
What do they have? Did they instead like sawing the stick in half? Because that would have been kind of funny.
I can't remember what they landed on, but before the game, I was like, "Ooh, this."
Well,
could
hang on.
be-"
What's
They
the?
also played Winnipeg though. They played the Jets. Though.
This is rare. I'm drawing a blank on the reference, but there's a movie where someone like shoots an eagle and has no idea that that's not okay. Like you could just play that clip,
yeah.
and then it's not you being assholes. It's like, oh, this is funny, haha. But wait, is it? God, there's just so many lights. I like the dragon. To Cosgrove's point, this has to just be an insane atmosphere. I can't even imagine.
Yeah, playoff atmospheres are always fun. Just don't spend your
Let's
money.
freaking
on it
go,
like I do.
boys.
I'm not allowed to go to any Minnesota sports playoff games anymore because like the last 3 that I've been to were it was the Wild game 1 against St. Louis when they lost like 6-0. It was the Vikings playoff loss to the Giants where they made Daniel Jones was like the best quarterback alive.
How much
And
did those
then-
tickets cost?
We got them high up, but I think they're over. I think like $100, maybe
Well,
more.
that's cheap as shit for a playoff game.
Yeah, I think we got them on a good deal somehow. I think my Wild ones I think were like 170, and then I also spent I got a buddy of mine. His company got like a suite for the Twins playoff game, like the first year they made it back, and the Astros beat them down like 11-0.
Let's be real though. Like you can't make any kind of decision based on how the Twins perform in the postseason. Like
That's fair.
that's no one's fault. That's just they exist.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah, so I forbid myself from going now. So just can't do it anymore. I don't want to be that bad luck. I can't bring my bad juju around.
See, I saw you like white knuckling over there as he went through those prices. It's like if you go to the President's Day game at like noon on Monday in Boston, it's what, like $300 for a nosebleed?
Probably around like 220, 230. Any like day game now, it's especially insane.
Oh, it's more
The
for a
building's also-
weekday day game?
If it's like a holiday or whatever. But the day games are outrageously funny because that without fail is a top 5 drunk building in America. Like any Boston sports game that starts from like noon to 4, it's like just completely out of control. And I say it every time. The fact that like 2 years ago, game 1 versus Florida was on Marathon Monday. Holy shit. Like it was out of control.
Puck is down.
Insane.
Dude, you know what I need? Let's just say in a crazy world, we are approaching puck drop here. The Wild take an early lead. I need a selfie at the poker table from Phil Kessel with his go-to quote. I think do we even have it on here? Oh my God, we might.
I love that. My
Just sitting around
has
the house
baseball.
tonight with my dog. Felt like I should be doing something important, but can't put my finger on it. If he had some version of that with a picture of him at the poker table, I'd be all in.
Oh yeah.
All right, well, the game is on. Puck is dropped. Everyone, again, go check out Isha's live stream. Let me pull it up here again for those that didn't see it. We've got the link here in the chat, or you're on our channel already. Please go over there and at least give him a like to boost the stream, but hang around if you're sickos and staying awake for this whole game. Boys, any last thoughts, comments before we get the fuck out of here?
No, first couple shifts looked pretty decent. So
Yeah,
I couldn't tell you. My stream just going to ESPN baseball, so I just have the Astros Pirates game on the stream. Like that's what I have going on. So
Oh my god, that's great.
I need to find a Sportsnet stream.
All right, I think that'll do it. Go
All right,
Wild.
gents.
All right. Peace.
So, yep.